I'm originally from Sweden, and I did all my education there. And in Sweden, higher education is tax funded, so we don't pay tuition. Even though we didn't pay tuition, it was very hard for me to pay for my living expenses and also to pay for my books. So I can't even imagine how it would have been if I had to pay tuition on top of that.
We have a mission that incorporates social justice, that we need to be thinking about the challenges that our students face and how can we help them be successful.
I learned that there are so many resources in-house. We have an amazing library. We can talk to the library liaison. There are materials freely available through the library. And there is also Merlo.com, which is an amazing resource that I'm yet to use. But that's something that I learned in the process. And if I could go back and start over, I would jump on these resources and start building off of those.
I worked with a community partner, the Adventure Travel Trade Association, and in consultation with my community partner, we determined, okay, what would a professional in the adventure space need to know? So she helped identify materials, and then through my own research, of course, I was aware of foundational things that the class would need to know. And then we invited guest lecturers in, so I referred to the guest lecturers to ask for any specific readings or podcasts that they might want to share, and we incorporated some unique resources. So it wasn't just a textbook, which I think speaks to students having different types of learning styles. So while the initial motivation, I think, was saving students money, I think the students are getting a much more enriching classroom experience from what we've done.
It's more flexible.
Exactly.
It's more flexible.
And I'd build up on that and say that it's more collaborative, right? So it's
Yeah.
collaborating
Yeah.
with each other,
Yeah.
but it's also collaborating with the students. So students have an instant stake,
Right.
in the classroom, in the course materials, they participate, they collaborate. I would say an additional benefit that this format has resulted in my class is opening up newer conversations. So how do we learn? The fact that learning is not static. How do we modify our learning to respond to newer times? We are at a critical threshold where we need to respond in various ways, right? So not just talking about it, but also practicing it day to day in how we learn.
We have to think about this new generation of students are definitely learning and consuming information in very unique ways. So I think this type of course design, including this in your course design, allows you to acknowledge that.
There are ways that are out there in which we as faculty members can remind ourselves that what we produce that's out in the world can be prohibitively expensive. So how to find ways to either make our scholarship available, or within journals, sort of like find sections where some journals choose certain papers which can be available free of cost. So making those, sort of making use of those opportunities, and how we can have these conversations with our institutional leadership. So that is something that I would really, sort of want to see moving in the future, and that would be very supportive.